We've sold over $25 million in online courses in the last 8 years between 2 businesses, and I have tried every software you're seeing on your screen right now to build, market, and sell those courses successfully. And when I say try, I don't mean I dabbled or I did a free trial for a day. I mean, we have sold 7 figures with these 4 softwares here, 6 figures with these softwares, and have used all the others for multiple weeks or months. With that all said, this video here is my gift to you. It's 8 years of conclusions from trying all these softwares myself so that you do not have to. Every pro, every con, the upside, the downsides of the over 30 softwares I've been subscribed to in the last 8 years so that you can make the best decision and not waste months of time on a software that you'll probably end up canceling anyways. So to do that, I have broken this video down into 3 main sections and 3 types of softwares. First is the hard no's, or the softwares that I would never use, period. Second is the runner-ups, great softwares, but I personally wouldn't invest in, especially not for the long haul. And then third is the top 3 softwares, the only 3 that I would actually recommend you using to create, market, and sell an online course. For the last 5 years, we've been consistently making 6 figures per month selling our own online courses. And to run that machine at our peak, we were spending $5,000 per month on softwares. So to immediately save you some time and some heartache, let me just start with the hard no's. All right, I'll make this quick because there's just 3 softwares on this list that you should never use to sell an online course well. Those 3 are Udemy, Skillshare, and Coursera. These are not softwares. They are what I call course marketplaces. All 3 of these platforms have the same model, right? You make the course and then they will sell it for you with their branding and under their umbrella. Okay, now to beginner course creators, this sounds like a dream come true. That's amazing. All I have to do is build the course and then it just poops out money. Well, there's 3 huge problems. Number 1, they take 50% of your earnings on everything that you make. And 2, these platforms do not market the course for you. This is actually the same problem that Skool.com has, which I'll talk about later, but people have to basically have to trip upon your course in the giant sea of 213,000 other courses to buy yours. And then 3 is I have never, and I mean never, seen someone make more than $30,000 selling on these platforms. And that's the max. On the flip side, I've personally coached hundreds of course creators who have made 6, 7, and some of them 8 figures by learning how to create, market, and sell a course themselves and not by trying to outsource it through one of these course marketplaces. So that's the quick and dirty. If you're actually serious about selling courses and want to make more than a couple $1,000s, these platforms will never get you there. All right, moving on here to the runner-ups. These are actual softwares built to help you build and market your own online course. However, again, after spending many weeks in many of these and making 6 and 7 figures with others, they have a number of big issues that lead to a course creator disease I have coined and I call software stacking. Software stacking is an entrepreneurial disease that is taking over the world over the last couple of years, and it is where you join a software that does one thing really well, but only that one thing, and in order to scale your business, you need to subscribe to 3, 5, sometimes 10 other softwares like we did, and thus the $5,000 per month recurring expense that we had. Or sometimes a software will promise or claim that they can do everything, but 80% of their features kind of suck. So you end up software stacking anyways, not because the feature doesn't exist, but because the features just suck. So my goal is to educate you not only on which softwares are the best, but which ones will set you up for long-term success so that you're not software stacking down the road, getting tech overwhelmed, or spending 10x more than you probably should with 10 different logins. So those runner-ups are Systeme.io, ClickFunnels, Teachable, Thinkific, SamCart, Podia, Kartra, LearnWorlds, in that order. Now, real quick, before I dive into each of these, can you use any of these softwares I've mentioned and succeed? Of course you can. Thinkific, for example, we used as our first course host and ran over $5 million worth of sales through it alone. We ran 6 figures worth of sales through ClickFunnels and SamCart as well. And Teachable, over $13.6 million worth of sales. We were on there the longest. So by no means are you doomed if you choose to use one of these softwares. I'm not trying to make it sound like you have to choose one. It's the only way to go. I'm a firm believer that you are the real secret. You can make any of these work if you work at it. I'm just here to tell you the best from my personal experience to save you time, money, and a lot of heartache. So my quick thoughts on why these softwares do not deserve the spotlight is the following. Thinkific and Teachable are almost exclusively a course host and not an all-in-one platform. And the areas where they claim to be an all-in-one platform are very far behind. Teachable is actually the software we were on for the longest. Again, sold over $13 million on there. And I have a lot that I could share about both of these platforms, but the main takeaway is that despite all of their strengths, they lead to heavy heavy software stacking. It's nearly impossible not to end up subscribing to 3 to 5 other softwares to build funnels, automations, better CRM capabilities, an email sender, and so on. Podia, LearnWorlds, Kartra, and SamCart share the same issue with Thinkific and Teachable, but in different ways. The best way I can describe this is that each chooses to have its own focus points. So SamCart, for example, focuses heavily on making simple one-page funnels. That's like their whole thing. And that's awesome. I actually really like and agree with the concept behind simple one-page funnels. But you can make simple one-page funnels with any software on this entire list. So that's not something SamCart has a monopoly on. Podia has a focus point on uber simple usability, which in theory sounds awesome, but simplicity, I have come to find, has a huge cost as well. I have come to find that almost always simplicity is tied to super over restriction. So once you get past the simple beginning stages, you quickly grow out of your 3-year-old pair of pants and then realize this software doesn't allow me to do 80% of the things that I want it to. So it's good for a season, you quickly grew out of it. LearnWorlds has a focus point on having fun, interactive videos and gamification. Again, a great feature that increases engagements, but just building engaging courses is one slice of a 12-slice pizza. Marketing, selling, automating, scaling that course is actually more important and harder to do. And LearnWorlds features to help you do those things are just more of an afterthought. Last on the runner-ups list, we have ClickFunnels and Systeme, the only two that I would recommend from this runners-up list that have done the all-in-one approach well enough to get some merit here. Let's start with ClickFunnels. And to be transparent, they've had a very rough go at trying to be an all-in-one platform. And this is hard because I respect and I love Russell Brunson. He's actually a member of the same church as I am. I read his books, Expert Secrets, .com Secrets. It was kind of the beginning of my journey here. And while I think he's a genius marketer, he's not a software developer. And their release of ClickFunnels 2.0 was meant to be a revolutionary addition to this all-in-one software space, but instead it backfired pretty bad. They got slammed with a lot of angry customers who just felt the software was buggy, underdeveloped, had a lot of issues. I think it still does. I do believe they'll eventually get there and be a more solid competitor, but right now, their main focus is exactly what their branding suggests, and that is funnels. Past that, I think they're at least a year or two out from being a solid competitor in the all-in-one software space. But that leads us to probably the winner of the runner-up category, which is Systeme. I do like the interface. I think it's a great possible option. The number one complaint I have with Systeme is its lack of depth on any of the features it offers. It's also a huge complaint by its users. It just has a ton of limitations. It has a huge lack of advanced capabilities. It does just enough with each feature to claim, hey, we can do this, but not enough to justify canceling other softwares that do it far better. So similar to Podia, it has more of a focus on complete beginners, but not everyone stays a beginner. And if you do stay a beginner, it normally means you're not making any money, which isn't really most people's goals. So with the hard nose and the runner-ups out of the way, let's get into the meats and potatoes of this video. After selling multiple 8 figures in online courses and having over 40,000 students log in and use one of these 3 softwares, I can confidently recommend really only 3 for your business: Kajabi, Skool, and Course Creator 360. Of those 3, I've used Skool the least, while I've used Kajabi and Course Creator 360 for over 3 years. So I'm gonna compare these 3 softwares in the following 3 categories to go a little bit deeper to help you make the best decision. Category 1 is price, category 2 is features, and category 3 is what I call TTL, or the time to launch. As a potential buyer of all these softwares, these are the 3 categories that I personally care about the most, and I think most of you do as well. So I don't go really deep into comparing all these softwares. If you do want a more in-depth comparison, I do include links in the description comparing these more in depth. Now, before I dive into those 3 categories and give you my full analysis, even after selling millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars through many of these softwares I've talked about up to this point, we were still software stacking. And I ran into a plethora of huge problems, which ultimately led me to launching my own software, Course Creator 360. I'm saying that now because I am incentivized to sell my own software. However, I have included affiliate links to all the softwares I mentioned, and I make money either way. But I am giving you a transparent spoiler that I wouldn't have launched my own software if I did not feel completely sold on one of the other softwares I'm about to talk about now. With that said, category 1 on price, if you take the average of all the subscription tiers and get past some of the fluff and marketing jargon, the most popular plans when ranked from least expensive to most expensive are Skool at $99 a month, CC360 at $147 a month, and Kajabi at the highest at $199 per month. But let's talk about this. Having used all these softwares and now running a software myself, there's what I call the advertised cost, and then there's the real cost. And there's two sneaky ways that softwares often force you to spend more, either deliberately or unconsciously without you fully recognizing it. The first is what's called tier pricing, and the second is, again, software stacking. So Kajabi and Teachable, for example, have their highest plans at $3.99 and $6.65 per month, respectively. But the way they tier their pricing is what was frustrating for me as a user. The way these softwares tier their pricing is based on features. So Kajabi, for example, limits the amount of courses, contacts, admins, websites, and funnels on all of their plans, even the highest plan. Kajabi knows that the more you use their software, the more usage you will require as the user. More courses, more funnels, you'll need more admins, more everything, giving you no real option but to have to upgrade. Course Creator 360 has 0 feature limitations on funnels, courses, products, contacts, domains, admins, customers, and even gives you a second account for a totally separate business included under one subscription. The second sneaky way is software stacking, which is Skool's problem. It has the lowest monthly cost, but the real actual cost starts to surface when you realize the sheer amount of software stacking required to even use Skool.com in the first place. Which leads us to category number 2, which is features. All right, this is where we really start to get a clear picture of what you need, what hits your needs, what applies to you as a course creator. And let's start with the most limited in features to the most capable in terms of features. At number 3, we have Skool, which again is the cheapest option, almost entirely because of what it offers though. The best way I can describe your business is that it's a pizza. Now, each slice represents different features that every online business needs to not only start, but to scale. Every online business, especially those in the course creation and education space, need funnel building, website building, a CRM, email sending, text sending, automation capabilities, course hosting, community building, form building, survey building, calendar booking, and tracking. There's even more slices that are nice to have, but these 12 are mandatory in my opinion. They're not optional if you plan on scaling past 10K a month. Now, if surpassing that 10K mark is not your goal, it's totally fine. You may not need all 12 slices. Skool handles 2 of the 12 slices: course hosting and community building. That's it, with its one and only real focus being on community. And that's their whole marketing message, that if you build a strong community, everything else will work itself out. I'm just telling you, after having helped and built 8-figure and multi-7-figure online courses myself, I can tell you it's a lot more nuanced than that. So if and when you want those other 10 slices, well, you gotta go use ClickFunnels to build your pages, MailChimp for a CRM, Twilio for text, ManyChat for Instagram, Zapier for automations, Jotform for form building, Calendly for appointments, and on and on and on until one software suddenly just turned into 6. So while Skool.com can help you get your first couple $1,000s, it is quite literally impossible to scale without the other 10 slices. And this is such an obvious reality that even one of Skool's biggest users, constantly on the leaderboard, named Hamza Ahmed, is a classic case of software stacking. I went through his funnel, and sure enough, he uses Skool for his community, ClickFunnels for his funnels, ThriveCart for his checkout pages, and I'm sure Zapier to string all those together. You kind of have to have it. And he has to have a CRM somewhere because Skool just doesn't have one at all, which takes this lovely $99 per month price point and takes it somewhere closer to $300 to $500 a month. So to conclude on features with Skool.com, I think the main draw to Skool that may make it worth your investment is that it's very simple and super beginner friendly. That's their main focus point. So if you're trying to start a business and don't see this thing scaling past $5,000 or $10,000 a month, I think it's a great starting point. Just keep in mind, long term, it's not going to be the only software you use. It's just not built for that. All right, moving on. In terms of second most capable in features, we have Kajabi. Kajabi and Course Creator 360 are really the only two on this entire list that truly have the features you need to not have to software stack. Both softwares have funnel building, website hosting, course hosting, form building, email sending, automation capabilities, community building, just like Skool, gamification, contact management, and video hosting. But again, after selling over $5 million with Kajabi, despite all its strengths, it was still forcing me to keep an active subscription to MailChimp for my email and CRM needs. Things like Calendly for my appointments, Zapier for automations because Kajabi's is super limited. The list just kept getting longer and longer and longer, and that led me to realize that Kajabi does just enough to get the job done. And truth be told, for most beginner course creators, that may be enough for now, right? But as you start to grow and scale, and I sure hope that's your plan, the lack of robust email sending that ensures my emails land in the primary inbox, my automations are on points, my nurture sequences are going well, starts to really take a toll on me. When you combine that with Kajabi's other lacking areas, like for example, their automations are super limited, you just really can't do much in there, or the inability to book appointments for my sales calls or coaching calls, you kind of start to expect more from Kajabi, seeing that they're the most expensive software on this list by far. So my big beef with having used Kajabi Kajabi for so long is they have a bit of an identity crisis, right? They really try hard to be super simple by restricting a lot of features. But then on the other hand, they try to cater to that all-in-one marketing angle by giving you every feature you need. So this weird, like, no man's land leads to frustrated users like this one. Kajabi's identity crisis is most evident in things like their checkout process. You can't hardly make any customization to the checkout page at all. You're forced to use their one and only option, but making pages for funnels is very nuanced, right? I needed to have that control and change things as I like, but Kajabi's oversimplification on some things makes it so that you have to fit within the box that they've designed, which doesn't always work for my needs. So with all that said, the top 7 features that Kajabi either doesn't have at all or just really sucks at that you will find inside of CC360 are: number 1, automations, which means you have to use Zapier; 2, CRM and email sending; 3, appointment booking; 4, Instagram and Facebook DM management and automation, just like ManyChat provides; phone calling, texting, live chat, and overall just conversation management, having all that in one place; contract sending, like you see through DocuSign; and then 7th is social media planning, like you'll find in something like Hootsuite. And this is where features are where Course Creator 360 completely dominates in and takes the cake on. This is where truly almost anything is possible if you can dream it. Zapier is completely unneeded because you're not connecting to any other softwares if you use CC360, but you can automate anything from sending text messages, Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, custom APIs, Facebook conversions, video tracking, course completion rates, and so much more. And folks, that leads me to the last category that should help you make your decision when choosing a software, and that is TTL. I call this time to launch. It's, in my opinion, the most important category on here because to me, the greatest value in a software is not in the amount of bells and whistles and features it has. It's actually its ability to help you do its main purpose, which is to launch a course and make money. Building a website is not launching a course. Making a course is not launching a course. Thinking about launching a course is not launching a course. And I've used so many softwares that give you so many amazing tools and features and bells and whistles, and it feels like a box of hammers. They give you all the hammers and say, good luck, go build your home, you rock. And you're holding this box of hammers with tools, which are great. They will help you to build a home or your business, but it is incredibly overwhelming. And so your time to launch is massive. This is the biggest issue with GoHighLevel. A lot of people ask, well, what's the difference between your guys' software and GoHighLevel? That is the #1 difference. Course creators leave GHL all the time for our software because they've been given all the right tools, which are needed, but with no structure to those tools, no mentorship, no help, no coaching, no course content, no templates that actually work for course creators. So in order of the longest TTL to the quickest TTL, at number 4, I would start with GHL. And it's also the #1 complaint that GHL users have is just the sheer amount of overwhelm people feel with lack of direction. And it takes people months to get everything built out until it actually works and they're happy with it. Coming in at number 3, I have Kajabi. And here's why. My experience and thousands of others is that Kajabi feels like buying an airline tickets. Everything costs money. They charge for everything under the sun. They squeeze that lemon as dry as they can. We're talking templates cost money. Their mobile app costs money. The community costs money. Super basic features that should be in their cheapest plan are reserved for their highest. Kajabi even quoted me $350 to get a course migrated that was 20 videos off of another software. For context, at Course Creator 360, we offer the same exact service for $35. Kajabi has a 10x markup on the simplest, dumbest little service, and I just personally have a lot of beef with companies that feel that way. If I want to get any amount of value or direction or help or mentorship, I have to pay for it. So what happens is the people who are the most willing to pay money move the quickest. That's the caveat. Those who are not stay on the lower plans, being starved of any real value and help until you give us some more moolah and upgrade to actually get real stuff that will help that TTL to come down. At number 2, this one was kind of tough because on one hand, I really respect Skool.com's value that Alex Hormozi gives, where he gives you some course content, he gives you some coaching calls. They do give you some direction on how to actually get things up and running. And because of their super simple model, it is relatively quick to get things up, running, and launched with your Skool community. The reason I have it at number 2 is because number 1, the software stacking issue. That TTL gets longer and longer because you run into all these different issues where you realize the software just doesn't do 80% of what you need it to do, going back to the pizza problem. And so it's actually far more complex because you've got 5 different logins now to tape it all together. And the last reason is that Skool.com focuses on one very niched way to build an online business, which is community building. They focus entirely on the MRR model, monthly recurring revenue. You charge somebody $100 a month, they get access to your community, your course, your coaching, etc. But that is just one model. What if you want to run a low ticket offer course? What if you want to run a mid-ticket course or a high-ticket coaching program? There's so much more that goes into building an online course business, and Skool.com for me only focuses on one very small part of it, and it's for that reason I have them at number 2. At number 1, I've put my own software, Course Creator 360, not just because it's my own software, but because we are in the top 1% of online course creators, and I know after having used all these softwares exactly what course creators need to create, market, and sell their online course successfully. Unlike tools like GHL or Kajabi, Kajabi, we don't just give you a bunch of hammers and say good luck. You get our entire suite of course contents where we teach you how we have built a multi-8-figure online course business, a multi-7-figure online business twice with a proven blueprint, step by step, how to actually go about it, starting from zero with 0 followers and no experience at all, or someone who's already making a couple $1,000s a month and want to scale. We give you every template we have ever used, every funnel, every lead magnet we've made, our website templates, our email templates, our automation templates. This is the business in a box I wish I had when I was first starting. I did not get through Kajabi or Teachable or Thinkific or ClickFunnels or anywhere else, or if it was out there, I had to buy $1,000, $2,000 packages to get it. We give you 24/7 customer support with 50-second response times and 98% customer satisfaction. I wanted to be sure I wasn't giving my software too much credit, so I actually went through Kajabi's free trial process last week. I submitted a very simple ticket. I wanted some help on something. They did not even have a live chat option on that plan that I was on. I had to wait a full 24 hours to get an email from somebody. Tech support is a huge part of running an online business. Skool.com has no support. They just rely on their community. And this is by far the top 3 things that our customers rave about, is the sheer lengths that we go to help our customers. Just like Skool.com, we give you guys bi-weekly coaching calls with myself every other Friday. I've not missed a single one in under 3 years. You get access to our exclusive private community. And of course, any and all ongoing templates, new course content you get access to. We do not charge you extra for those like we could and probably should, because at the end of the day, if I can get you launched and making money, you will stay on our software. That is how I win. That's how you win. And if you want to start a free trial, you can click below, join for 30 days free, pretty much twice as long as any other software is going to be willing to give you. And of course, if you want to join any of the other softwares I talked about in this video, you can also click below. I am an affiliate for those. Or if you're already on any of those softwares and want to move over, we take care of the entire migration process, from course content to websites, funnels, everything. We can do it in less than a week, and you don't have to spend a pretty penny on it. And with that, folks, that is it for my 2025 review of the best online course platforms to use. Again, to reiterate, I believe you can succeed with any of these, even softwares like Udemy and Skillshare. I highly recommend you steer away from those, but you can make it work. You are the secrets. It's just a matter at this point of who's going to help you get there the quickest, shortcut your progress, care about you the most, and give you the tools to make it as easy as possible for you. Please don't spend months deciding which software to join. Just get going on one, start building. Good luck building your courses, and I'll see you in the next one.